Well, hello and welcome to Ensuring Compliance and Financial Advisors videos, best practices for engaging clients while meeting regulatory standards. Had to remember to turn the audio on. Hope everyone's having a great morning. Welcome. Good afternoon for wherever you are. I want to start with a question. How many of you have avoided creating video content because your compliance team said it was too risky? If you raised your hand or even mentally, you're not alone. Most advisors treat video content like regulatory quicksand. The more you struggle with it, the deeper you sink. So what I want to do over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to create an engaging video, how to create can't talk, engaging video content that's compliant and your approval team and prospects will love. We're not talking theory. This is a systematic, tested approach that turns regulatory requirements into your storytelling advantage. So let's talk really about the elephant in the room. And we talk about that, it's really the SEC rule and the FNIR rule. And they really don't want to prohibit engaging content. They simply require strategic communication. The problem isn't the rules. In most cases, advisors don't understand how to work within the rules in a creative standpoint. So think about it. Your prospects already know you can't guarantee returns. They're looking for something else. Evidence of your expertise, your process, your thinking. That's what exactly compliant content delivers. So you just have to be constant aware of the two because the SEC rule mainly focuses on emphasizing truthful representation, where the FINR rule really is going to focus on communication of financial advisors requiring of all promotional material. And we'll talk more about that. So let's talk about the three-pillar strategy compliance approach. Get this out of the way where I can see. So when we really talk about establishing the content guidelines, if you will, it's really the framework that transforms compliance, the roadblock or the foundation. So we want to be able to have clear guidelines to maintain that compliance and then actually make sure we monitor those. So I like to say this means developing templated disclosure language, pre-approved topic frameworks, and standard review processes. Your compliance team blesses these once. You're free to innovate those within the boundaries. So I know I'm kind of breaking that up, but I think what it means is that you have templates for everything you're doing in those disclosures because you want to make sure, think of it like political, you're just putting that disclosure out there. If that's a 3 to 5 second before the video starts, at the end of the video, or during the video, there's a number of different ways you can do that. Secondly, utilize that educational storytelling techniques that is going to engagement while providing valuable insights rather than performance claims. So let me give you an example of that. So rather than saying our clients achieve 12% returns, you can imagine a client worried about market volatility. Here's how we help them understand risk management principles. Let me say that again because it wasn't real clear. So focus on educational storytelling, not promotional messaging. So instead of our clients receive 12% returns, you create scenarios. Imagine a client worried about market volatility. Here's how we help them understand risk management principles. This satisfies FINR educational content exemptions with demonstrating expertise. I'm sorry, but when it comes to compliance, there's just a lot there. So it's important to implement a compliance review process before content publication, incorporating checks and balances that serve as a safeguard against potential regulatory violations. So got to stay on it from the very beginning in each draft when you think about creating your site map, your outline, and your actual script long before you get into production or into editing. So let's talk about the implementation strategies. So when we really talk about implementation, What I really want you to think about is the content. The content structure should be clear and concise, aligning with regulatory standards. So you don't have to talk like a robot, but you just don't want to make claims or any promises. And that's why we're going back to the disclosure, right? Integrating the disclosures is crucial because that way you're telling your viewer exactly what it is that you're communicating to them, and it's in a fair way. So I want to slow down just a second because I hope I'm giving you a lot of information, but it's important that you understand the compliance uh, big picture, especially if you want to create video content and you feel like it's serving as a roadblock for you now. So we've talked about every stage, and then it's really that pre-production review. We're really just starting the conversation, right? With the firms, we don't really ever have a problem because it's a conversation we have early on. It's not a question. It's not something we're thinking about after the fact. So let's talk a little bit about engagement strategies, if you will. And what do we mean by engagement strategies? Because that's really storytelling. And it's engaging clients without misleading claims. And I gave you an example earlier, but it's once again it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that's going to be most importantly. So we are crafting narratives that resonate emotionally while avoiding specific performance indicators. It's going to be most important. Secondly, we're going to focus on educational content that informs the clients about market trends, investment principles, and financial literacy to build trust and authority. And that's where you, as a boutique firm, have the opportunity to tell your story. With I like to use with our storytelling science, a video magazine, which is going to be ongoing quarterly or biannually. And then utilize real life scenarios. People like to see people like them to illustrate concepts and effectively maintain clarity while maintaining transparency with your clients. So the risk and mitigation is obvious. Implementing an audit trial ensures transparency in all video content. So it's just something that you make sure that you incorporate. Secondly, ongoing monitoring. Uh, this is where I probably see a lot of people falling off because we feel like we've gone through all the steps to be compliant. Uh, we've told the clients exactly what we're doing, but then we kind of get comfortable with what we're doing. So I want to encourage you to continue monitor that content and establish client communication safeguards. It's going to reinforce trust and ensure clients are well informed on compliance measures while ensuring their overall experience with video content. So let's talk about takeaways. First of all, understanding the regulatory framework is critical. I don't think I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but what I will tell you, by adhering to these guidelines, you can create video content that not only engages audience but meets compliance standards. And that's what's most important because you don't want to not create video because you're concerned of not being compliant. Implement a structured approach that ensures all materials are informed and compliant, therefore prospering trust and credibility with your clients. And finally, I want you to think about the three-pillar compliance approach that we discussed. Content guardrails, educational storytelling, through compliance reviews, integrated disclosure structure, ongoing risk monitoring, and enhanced content quality. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of or a better understanding of the compliance roadmap and what's out there in front of you. If I can ever help you, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out and DM me, or you're welcome to contact me via my email, social, or phone. I hope this has been helpful and educational for you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for your time.